excited because we have Monique with us again. I know that a number of you have asked me if we were going to be able to have her back. And so I called her and she agreed. So Monique is in Mexico right now. I'm choosing to believe she's not by the pool. But, but I am so excited because, you know, we were online last week and we had a little problem with Facebook and LinkedIn. So I'm not getting any error messages now. And I'm going to take that as meaning we're good to go. So I'm going to click on comments so y'all can let us know what's going on. And now we're just going to get started. Now, some of you were not able to get on last. I just talked about that. If you were on Facebook or LinkedIn, you were out of luck. But we did record it last week and we sent it out. And I will be happy to send out the link to that one when we send out the link to this one too. So last week we talked to Monique about her journey to through being a diva and how that shaped what she does today. And so let me just introduce you to her, and then we'll get into the meat of the program where we're going to talk about how to activate your authentic voice. Okay. Monique is a Grammy-nominated, award-winning vocal specialist and a certified conscious transformational coach. And we are going to talk about that a little bit for those of you who don't know what it is. Monique has had opera and masterclass performances throughout Europe, Russia, Japan, and the US, including Carnegie Hall and the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. And she's also appeared all over the world, Russia, Japan. I mean, just everywhere. There isn't enough time to even talk about that. But I am so excited about having her back because this is a time, and Monique, I think you agree with this also. This is a time where we need people to be able to speak in their authentic voice and to lead us through some of the challenges of this planet today. And, it's so important. Now, Monique, one thing I wanted to ask you was something you mentioned to me that originally you were very self-conscious or very hesitant in auditions. And I wondered how you handled that, because it seems like I would just be frantic. So I wondered if you could talk about that for a second.
Sure, I'm happy to. First of all, thank you so much, Dumont, for having me here on this amazing LinkedIn Live. I'm such a fan of yours, and all of your followers are so lucky to have you as their guide and mentor. And so I just really appreciate being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for those of you who are here tuning in with us, auditions for an opera singer are kind of like presentations and calls to actions for speakers and entrepreneurs, right? It's where you kind of step up and say, look at me, aren't I great? I've got some amazing things to share with you. Would you like to join me and take the next step and move forward in our relationship, right? For me, it was like, please hire me so that I can be a part of your organization and sing in your productions. And for us as speakers, it's please enjoy what you're witnessing here and now with what I'm sharing with you, and know that I can help you further and I can give you more if you'd like more. And that's that same invitation. So I was literally this freak of nature, put me on a stage with 1,000 people watching, and I rocked it. I just loved it. It was a sensation of, when the lights go down and you can't see the faces in the audience. When the house lights go down, right? And you've got the spotlight on you, you can't see them, but you can feel their energy. You can feel
Cool.
them. You can feel them. So that exchange and that connection is just kind of beautiful. I would say it's kind of like when we're doing webinars and
Um,
there's not interaction, or
yeah,
like we're doing right now, a LinkedIn Live, where you and
right,
I are talking, like me and the people on stage are talking, right?
right.
But there's no face in the audience. How, right? Does that make sense? Do you get
Yeah,
that? So
yeah.
I loved that because I was just interacting with the connection that I felt to people, that I felt all the time, which is why I loved to sing, which is why I love meeting new people. It's like opening presents for me, and love to share ideas and have these conversations, right, where we all learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Put me in an
Oh,
audition in a room with 3 to 5 people just looking at me and feeling like I'm being judged, or they have the power to make or break me, or all of a sudden, all of that shining and vibrating and
all of
amazingness got really small, right? And I think that in hindsight, and once I started to work on this, what I literally did was I gave away my power. I
oh,
gave my power to the people out there. And I believed that they were in charge of my fate. Like if they didn't
oh,
buy from me, or they didn't receive what I was giving.
you're seizing up a little bit there, Monique. Yeah, it looks like you've got a bad connection. I'm going to jump in here until Monique can get back. It looks like I don't know. She's in Mexico. Maybe the maybe the message just isn't reaching us. No, I'm kidding there. But the reason I wanted Monique to talk with you about using your authentic voice was because I specialize in personal and digital branding. And when we're talking about branding, we talk a lot about authenticity and being authentic in who you are. Whoops, we lost her, but hopefully she'll be back. So we talk about authenticity, and one of the things that you want to do to project your authenticity is to talk in a way that is authentic to you. So that what you're writing or what you're showing is really the way that you would normally talk, that you would normally have a conversation with someone with, because that makes all the difference in the world. So when your ideal client lands on your profile, or your ideal, if you're looking for a job, your ideal recruiter lands on your profile, they will actually feel like they're in a conversation with you. And that's what we mean by using your authentic voice in branding. Now, using your authentic voice in terms of what Monique was talking about, in projecting your authentic voice at a time when we need leaders and we need people who can create that sense of authority that we will lead, that we will follow. That is very much about speaking in your authentic voice. Oh, I think we may have Monique back. There you are. Can you,
Hello there. I apologize.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
I, yeah, I can hear you. You're doing fine. I just dropped in and for a few minutes and talked about why an authentic voice and authenticity is so important on LinkedIn. So we talked about the need to converse in a way that is natural for us, and that helps us project who we are authentically. But let's get back to what you were talking about, which was we started.
Well, I love that it all ties in, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's the
We're having problems again.
important thing. When I was having trouble with auditioning,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Mm.
are you there?
I'm here. We're having trouble hearing you. You're kind of freezing up at times. Why don't we do this, Monique? I'm going to reschedule you, but oh, there you are. Let's see if it works for a minute. No, you're freezing up. So what I'm going to suggest is why don't we reschedule? But at the same time, I want people to know that you have a course starting and that it's about how to speak with how to do business, how to use your voice in business. And so that is starting. Actually, I think the first class has already occurred and the second class is today. But I talked to Monique and she said that you can, that they haven't covered so much that you couldn't catch up. And she also has something that she's just started that's called the Green Room. And that starts at 1:30 right here on LinkedIn Live. And you can talk to Monique for 15 minutes. And then if you want to have a more extensive conversation, you can have that on Zoom. So hold on. I am going to find those links because I had them for last week and I will just drop those in the chat. I have to find them first. So hang on, guys. That's this one. Okay. No. Hold on just a second. Well, shoot, I'm not seeing it. Okay, gang, what I'm going to do is I am going to, excuse me, jump off at this point and I'm going to go find the information. Oh, wait, hold on. I know how to find this. Hold on a second, because I want you to know how to get to the green room. And from there, she can help you with the class. So hold on just a second. I got it. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, so folks, oh, hey Debbie, yeah, I'm sorry about that too. And we are going to have, oh, there she is. Hold on. Hey.
Hi there. Oh, I
You know, before
apologize.
before we get cut off, I'm going to drop the link to the green room and have you
Okay.
explain what that is, because I think there are people on board who would be interested. And so I just posted it. Monique, could you talk about the green room and tell people what it is?
Absolutely. So I created the green room as a place for a meet and greet for speakers and leaders to come and meet me, the diva, and talk about whatever their questions might be, whatever their thoughts might be. Because I do a lot of speaking out to people, like in LinkedIn Live. That's what I do. That's what this
Mhm.
is. It's a LinkedIn Live. But what makes my LinkedIn Live different is that I then give you a link to the green room on Zoom so that I can hear your thoughts, your ideas, and your feelings about what we discussed that day, and if I can be of service to you in your speaking career.
How
So
great is
the green room was that VIP room. After the concert, you used to be invited backstage to meet the performers and share your thoughts and feelings about the performance and get to meet them and be with them in real time rather than just from stage. So I thought that might be fun.
Oh, it's saying they're not seeing you, they're just hearing you. Well, at least we've got but it says what a beautiful voice the diva has though. So
Oh, thank
so
you.
yeah, thanks, Debbie. We can always count on Debbie. Now, I could not find the link to your course, and I know it's starting right now, or it's
Yes.
going on right now.
Well, it actually, I because so many people were in interested in it, and I'm going to be in California with Dumont in
Yeah.
a few days. I was planning for it to start this coming Tuesday, but I postponed it for the following week so people would have a
Okay.
little more time um, to get into it. So it's called Unleash Your Authentic Voice. And it's my signature 6-week course where I teach you how to find that unique quality that is just you and your expertise in the way that only you can express it, and help you express it or unleash it through your presentations, through your talks. And I teach you how to deal with confidence and imposter syndrome once and for
Oh
all.
my
Who
God.
doesn't want that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I've suffered a bit of that myself. It's why I ended up with a PhD. I just kept saying sooner or later, I'm going, nobody's going to be able to think I'm an imposter, which gives you a really good idea of my level of common sense. Uh, so Monique, let me get your email so that people can write you and get the registration.
Actually, I have the link. I'm
Oh,
going
you
to
do?
drop it
Okay,
into the chat for
great.
you. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Here is the link. Dumont, can you see that?
Not yet.
Oh, I put it in the private chat. That's probably why. Let me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at all those people.
Yeah, yeah. We're having fun now. And I have a feeling that Rusty, my trusted VA and my right hand really, um, is in the background because he dropped a link.
Oh, good.
But
Because
I
I.
don't think he dropped the link to that.
Okay, because
Um,
it's in the private chat and I don't seem to be able to do.
okay, so
Uh,
give me your email and I'll just pop that in there.
okay, so the email is Monique at themagneticvoice.com. And the link to sign up for my signature 6-week course
Yeah.
is themagneticvoice.com
Mm-hmm.
/mastery.
Mastery. Okay, let me look and see because I've been known to misspell a lot. Oops, I did. I put two S's in there. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to Monique at themagneticvoice.com. Whoops, and I put an extra M there. I'm not on my regular keyboard. And then the course is called Unleash Your Magnetic Voice, right?
Unleash your authentic
Your
voice.
authentic voice. Okay. Okay. I think they should be able to get that. So I will put it in there.
I'm seeing
I
Debbie's.
misspelled voice, but anyway, that release your authentic voicey or vocey or something. But
I'm kind of, it's funny. I'm not sure why it's, yeah, you got it.
okay.
Themagneticvoice.com/mastery. That's
Okay,
it.
good, good.
Yay.
So really, you have two opportunities now to speak with Monique, and I hope that some of you will take advantage of the green room. I know, if I weren't going to nab her and take her aside and pump her for information over the next few days, I would be there right after this. But the green room opens at 1:30.
1 o'clock.
So, oh, 1 o'clock. I
One
apologize. 1
o'clock.
o'clock. Oh, that's right.
So right after this,
Yeah, right after this. So
Wednesday's my LinkedIn Live day. Wednesdays
that's
at
right.
1.
That's right.
So the way it works is you have me on a LinkedIn Live, and then there's a link right there on the LinkedIn Live where you can join me in the green room on Zoom so that I can hear from you and what your thoughts are
that
about
is
what
so
I
great.
discussed.
That is so great. So, Monique, when last we left you, you were auditioning for operas.
Yes.
And trying to get over stage what I'm thinking is stage fright with that.
Yeah. And well, it's a little different than stage fright because I wasn't afraid to be on stage. So I could be on stage in front of thousands of people,
Okay.
and I adored it. It was fun, actually fun. I loved it. But put me in a room with 3 or 5 people just looking at me,
Yeah.
judging me, right? That was the mindset was different. When I was on stage, I was just giving and being what I am, right? And when I work with my clients, right, a lot of times they go into presentation mode where they put up walls and it's unconscious. So it is one of the reasons why it's so important to work with someone who does this. So you have a coach for your content, you have a coach for your business, you have a mindset coach, you have all these coaches, right, to help you do your business. But the one thing that most people don't have a coach for is how to then present all of this content and information in an interesting way. How to be sure that you sound like the expert that you are, that your voice is matching up. So, one of the ways that I teach people to do this is because some of us have been on a quest to find our authentic voice for most of our lives. And it's
a good point.
right, and it seems to elude us. And that brings me back to that moment in the audition when I realized what I had done was I had given my power to the people that were listening. And I think that that's what happens to a lot of us when we're about to do our talk or do our presentation or have that one-on-one sales conversation. Unconsciously, we give the power to the person that's going to buy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we lose our mojo, right? Because we're facing outward and we're into the other person and we're waiting and watching and hoping we're doing it right and looking at their faces to see if they like it, and all of that, right? All of that of our magic, our energy and expertise, what makes us uniquely us. That's actually what I'm going to be talking about in the green room today, because when we start to remember that that's the one thing we do have control over,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Right.
Is how are we showing up, and are we open? A lot of times when we go into presentation mode, we put on a front, right? We put on, and we want to be professional, and we want to look smart, and we want to do all of those things.
We
And then
want them to like us.
we want them to like us. Exactly. And we forget that they want to see you.
Yeah.
They want to see you. Like, it funny when I kept going out. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't funny to you. It absolutely wasn't funny to me. I was like, oh no. But it's what I find funny about it is that I was still talking, and as I was having the technical difficulty, which is going to happen, people.
Oh yeah.
It's things are going to go wrong. The thing to do is to negotiate your energy and how you're feeling. So as I was pushing all the buttons and
Yeah.
trying to figure it all out, I was being sure to breathe and keep breathing and keep in the space of, even though it appears everything is falling apart, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. And therefore, when I do show up, I'm going to show up fully present. Right?
Present. Oh, that is so important. Who was I? Oh, I was talking to Sam Lieberwitz. You
Oh,
know
I love
Sam.
Sam.
You know Sam. He's the podcast king, and he's
That's
coming
right.
back here. And I asked him what his superpower was, and he said being present. That being present allowed him to ask questions and follow up that other people didn't ask because he was
Mm,
fully present in the moment. I
yes.
just I just threw that in. I'm sorry, but
No, not at all. You're absolutely right.
yeah, and you said something else that really caught my ear because it's something that I know my clients struggle with, and I'm sure most of us struggle with who ever have to make a sale, and that is who we are when we're making that sale. Um, you know, being confident in who we are. Could you speak to that a minute?
Things that I think is the most difficult, because I put it this way: when you are about to make the invitation
Mm-hmm.
and you make the invitation, that moment where your potential client is weighing their options is probably the most excruciating, and most of us jump in and try to sell more, try to say something that will make them right.
Oh, did I
Or
mention?
yes, exactly. So that you either do that or you check out,
Yeah.
and it's all unconscious, right? Because there's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
it's just about experience and learning how to do it and practicing doing it, because you're so uncomfortable with the selling part, or at
Mm-hmm.
least most of my clients are. I had to work on that, and that's why auditioning was so difficult for me.
Sure.
You check out of your body. You literally kind of pull your whole energy and presence gets cloudy, because you're thinking about, did I do it right? Did I say the right thing? Maybe I'm appearing too salesy. Am I too pushy? All the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when all of those things are going through your mind, you've left the client.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
That's
the
that whole
moment.
presence thing.
That's that whole presence thing. And this is the moment when they need you the most. This is the
Mm-hmm.
moment where they're going, and it's not about us, by the way. It's about them. This is
Mm-hmm.
the moment when I call it digging for gold. They're going down into their own consciousness, into their own experience, to see if they have the strength and the power and the faith
Hmm.
to invest in themselves, to invest in themselves one more time so that they really can achieve the transformation that they want, that they deserve. And so as the person making the invitation, we have to surround this moment in love. We have to just be present, just hold space. And they're either going to say yes or no, right? That's not our business, literally. Although, of course, we always want to make more
Sure.
unicorns. That's the goal. But this is about the client. And it's either yes or no. At this point, you don't have any control over that. So
Right.
that was one of my secrets when I started to work with a coach on my fear of auditioning. I filled the room with love before I entered it, so that every time I walked onto a stage, every time I walk into a LinkedIn Live, into a Zoom room, into a place where I'm going to be seen and heard and able to transform and change lives, I fill the room with love so that anybody that enters it feels safe and surrounded with love. So that when I walk on and I do whatever it is that I do, that I'm doing it from a place of love and I can feel it all around me. And it gives my mind something to focus on other than, oh my goodness, they're looking at me. How does my hair look? What are they thinking?
Yeah.
Or am I good enough? Which is ultimately what that all boils down to.
Yes, yes, yes. And I would think it would be hard to speak confidently in our authentic voice if we feel we're not good enough.
Yes.
And the other thing, well, go ahead and talk about that a bit more, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Oh, okay, great. So when we are experiencing a lack of confidence or those thoughts of, am I good enough? So many people are coaches. Why does the world need one more coach? Or whatever your flavor of not feeling good enough is, right? We all have it. And it's based in our history. It's based in our life history, the moments where we were told we weren't good enough, or someone withdrew their attention from us at a young age because we didn't perform or act in the way that they thought we should perform or act. Right. And so that's when those beliefs start to become born. And we carry these things around with us so that whatever situation we find ourselves in that looks even a little bit, or as my mother would say, even smells like it could be that kind of situation that we may have had in the past where we felt rejected or we felt not good enough. We put up protection, we put up barriers, we put up walls, right?
Yeah,
So that we aren't able to, so that we don't have to feel that way again.
that makes a lot of sense. I'm flashing back to my mother's reaction when she first saw me in my first ballet, which is why I didn't take ballet any longer after that.
Okay.
Well, she was delusional. I was never going to be able to do ballet, but it. But I understand what you're saying, and I'm wondering how, when we feel that way, and I'm sure we all have moments where we feel like we're not up to snuff, or we're an imposter, or we're not good enough. How can we deal with that when we're going to be doing, say, a presentation or a LinkedIn Live, or anything where we are going to be live, and either trying to close a sale or whatever it is? What can we do that will kind of bring us back to that place of being centered and being okay with who we are?
Thank you for that question. It's such a great question. So there, I obviously have a toolbox full of tools to help with that. So I'm going to give you as much as I can here, and then hopefully you'll reach out and I'll give you as much as I can, because I am on a mission, Dumont, to empower 10,000 voices.
Wow.
So thank you for asking that. The first thing that always works is to take a deep belly breath.
Mm-hmm.
Just let your belly fall open to receive the inhale and let it push out to receive the inhale. So your inhale is ultimate relaxation and letting go, and then your belly falls back towards the spine as you exhale. And just do that one or two times. In fact, you can do it right now with me.
I am doing it right now.
And it is the fastest way to bring you back into your body and into your moment, into your this moment. Because when you close your eyes and breathe like that, the only thing that matters is now. When you think about it, when we have this lack of confidence or are inundated with these thoughts of, I'm not good enough, it's either based on the past,
Ballet class.
ballet class, exactly, or based on the future. I'm not going to be good enough. I have this live stream that I'm about to do. What are they going to think, right? Or the future. Right here, right now, we are always good enough. We're always safe.
Mm.
And all is well.
All right. Well, I just did that deep breathing, and I have to tell you that it did make me more aware of me, of
Yes.
all of me there. So that's a really good tip. And I was going to ask you about something, and I think it also involves breathing. Is and you talked to me briefly about this once, but I'm going to ask you again because it's a lot to process. Um, Conscious transformation coaching or constant conscious transformational coaching, is
That's
that
right.
what? Yeah,
That's what it is. And it is a mouthful. So
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
um, conscious transformational coaching is a very unique way of handling the trauma and emotional debris from the past.
Mm,
So, one of the main reasons for lack of confidence and imposter syndrome, as we've been discussing, is based on something that happened in the past that we coded, that we
mm,
made meaning of, that made us feel rejected, not good enough, whatever it is. And so this process, this amazing, beautiful mode of healing is all about releasing and letting go of any of those emotional limiting thoughts or emotional debris that's left over from those events in our lives without talking about them and re traumatizing ourselves, without stirring it up
yeah.
again. We use your own memories and your own way of taking back the moment. And Dumont, it's like magic. It's I when it first happened to me, which is why I decided I had to become certified in it. This event in my past that had caused me so much pain, and every time I thought of it or my mind went to it, I was triggered back into that. It was as though it was
Mhm.
happening right now, which is what being triggered means. It takes
Right.
us out of this moment to what the last time that it felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we hate that, so we jump up out of our bodies in order to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the process, which takes about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how long you've been working with me on it, right? The more you work, the easier this process becomes, and it's actually fun, believe it or not. I went back to the memory or the moment, and there was no charge left.
Oh.
It was as though, of course, I still remembered it, but it didn't have that emotional baggage attached to it. It didn't have the power over me that it did before. And it
Hmm.
was as though it was kind of like, oh, look at Monique in that situation, as though I were just a little bit removed from it. And it didn't have the power to throw me off.
Wow. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, Debbie. I'm seeing Debbie's. Yes, that's exactly right. I'm not as good as I used to be due to injury, age, or being out of practice. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's right. That's another way and again, it's again going back to the past, right? I used to be this and now I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
now you are a new you, and in this moment, no. And thank goodness you're not like you were before,
Right.
because you don't have all the things that life has given us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very common one. Thank you for bringing that up, Debbie. As we get older, we think of ourselves as not as we used to be, and that's all we can see. Let me tell you a story. I've been coming up here. We have a rooftop private pool, right?
What was that?
And it's private. So I've been going up at dawn in the morning, and I've been skinny dipping. But this particular morning, the sky was so dramatic because on one side it was almost black. It was raining. We're like right across the ocean from Cozumel. I'm looking this way because that's where the windows open. And so the sky was black. I mean black. And then when you look there, it was just clouds and dark and stormy and scary. And all you had to do is this. And there was the sun rising and lighting up the sky.
Wow.
And it was dawn, the new beginning. And that's what happens to us. We get stuck at looking and getting triggered back to those moments over and over again. And we don't have the tools to
Mm-hmm.
just change our perspective and look at it in a different way. Look
Wow. That is
at it in the way in which it's a new, beautiful moment that is yours. This is where power lies. This is where your power lies. And that's one of the things I love about what I get to do.
Yeah, it sounds like the conscious transformational. Yes, it is a big
It's a mouthful.
transformational coaching is well, as someone who saw her number of counselors when I was younger, I know that we go in and we dredge all this up,
That's right. Yes.
and you're right, it does bring that trauma back to the surface. But I've always had the sense that it didn't really reach the root of the problem. You can understand it and use all of these like behavioral things where, well, I'm gonna look at this differently, or I'm going to rephrase this, but it's still there, and it's still, it doesn't reach deeply enough. And it sounds like this is a way of doing that and doing it almost in a physical manner.
That's exactly right. Thank you. So we don't talk about it. This is not talk therapy. So we are in no way, in fact, that's our mantra. You will not be traumatized on our watch.
Oh,
We
good.
don't open it back up. We don't, what we do is we reclaim the moment through your memory and putting you in a position of control so
Mm.
that you get to be in control of the situation again. And
Wow.
then you take it, and it takes it, the remnants or the debris that was left over from the emotional trauma or
Yeah.
the situation, and we take it right out of your mind, and it's gone forever. I mean, you can remember it, but the attachment to the emotion of it is what is gone.
This could be, I mean, this could be so powerful. I'm thinking of people that I've known who have been victims of sexual abuse or of, domestic violence or any of those kinds of things, or have even, even something like losing a job, that can just stick with you and be attached to all this negativity. And this just sounds like, it sounds great. Is the
Well,
only, for lack
it,
of better words.
here's the thing. It's not magic, but it kind of feels like it. And of course, depending on how deep the trauma
Mhm,
is, the more time we need to release it from the body, because
mhm,
our bodies register all of it. And what, the way I keep saying, and we jump out of our bodies,
mhm,
we have we one of the ways that we reclaim our power with from those situations is we develop that relationship with the body again. Let
mm,
my body give me the emotion. Where in my body do I feel this? Right? So that we are reestablishing that connection and that relationship with the body as a feeling entity. Most
mhm.
of us spend most of our time in our mind.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And our emotions from something traumatic are, are so near the surface sometimes. And I would think, that in a position where we are trying to speak with our authentic voice, we are trying to speak as someone who can lead someone to a certain result. Um, that could be it could be paralyzing.
It can be. And this is why it's so important as I look at empowering voices. And my mission is I want to get to people that have important messages to share with the world. And
Yeah.
here's what's true. We all do. We
Mm,
all have those messages. And I want to get to them so that and teach them how to express themselves, how to get rid of these things that are weighing them down from the
mhm,
past, and open themselves up and feel safe enough to open themselves up to truly reveal who they are. Because
mhm,
don't we all feel that when we're in the presence of someone who really knows who they are, and they're speaking from that place within them, we
mhm,
all feel safer. We all feel safer to do and be that ourselves. Isn't that true?
mhm. Yeah, it really is. And what you've been saying reminds me of something I heard recently from someone who speaks a lot and who really has those kinds of effects on his audience. And he was saying before he went live, he would stand in the back of the room and tell each person in the back of their head, "I love you. I
That's
love
right.
you. I love you." And I just thought, how powerful is that?
It's so
Um, yeah, yeah, and I think all of us recognize, or all of us can think of situations where we have heard a speaker who reached us on an emotional level, on an almost spiritual level, when we were just energized and inspired to make a difference in some way.
That's right. And I absolutely agree with you. And what I find is common amongst the best speakers and leaders is that you feel that they are speaking to you, that they know your pain and that they know you. And it's this uncanny feeling that you have as a person in the presence of someone like that. You feel that you're going to be safe with them. They know your pain,
Yeah.
and they're going to be able to help you through it. And I went on a mission to find out, what is it about the speaker or the leader that allows that to happen? And it is because they are fully connected to that essence of who they are, to the divine within, to that
Yeah.
power, that personal power, that silent power within themselves, so that they are speaking from there. And we are all connected through that.
That is just so inspiring, Monique. I'm going to have to take your course.
Yay!
But first, I'm going to pigeonhole you and pump you for information.
I would love that. And I'm going to have to sign off soon to get
Yeah,
over
you
to the
do.
green. But before I go, I just want to invite all of you listening, and you too, Dumont, to remember that there is something within you that the world needs.
Hmm.
And the Native Americans believe that we all have medicine for the world within each one of us. And our medicine is unique to who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that your voice is unique to who you are in the same way.
Hmm.
So when you combine your expertise, or as the natives say, your medicine, with
Mm-hmm.
your unique voice.
Oh, we have a question here that I want you to see before you get off, Monique. From
Yes.
Debbie, and I know that Debbie has been wanting to talk to someone like a vocal coach. So I suspect she may be joining you in the green room. Um, but I know that she would like to learn more about it because she has been very interested in that. So I
That's
wanted to point
terrific.
that out. And I'm going to let you go because I know you have to hop over to the green room in a few minutes.
I do.
But
And before I leave, Debbie, yes, my service also includes physical voice coaching. Yes, that's part of it. Here's the thing: we have to get the inner work done because our voice is a reflection of our life experience. So that's why I do, it's like one stop shopping. I do the inner work. And then once we start to get that going and you start to get used to connecting within first and breathing and standing, so that your posture, you're standing as though you have something very important to share with the world, and you're breathing so that you start to get really comfortable with breathing that belly breath that aligns your mind, body, and soul and voice. And we do drills. I don't call them drills. I call them fun exercises to get your tongue and voice and throat and everybody all on the same page in alignment. So yes, to answer your questions, yes.
that
And
is,
this in this course though, only one of the course, it's more of an overview. It's a 6-week course, and I give a little bit of everything so that you can really go a long way with that. Even if you don't ever come back to me, but I hope you will come back and we can go deeper.
and by the way, I happen to know Debbie, and she has the best posture.
Oh,
And she also has a tremendous and inspirational story to tell. So
oh,
I
I'd love
think
to
you
hear it.
two should definitely have a chat. Listen, Monique, thank you so much for being here, and for telling everyone about the green room and about the course. And I just you have to come back again.
Oh, it would be my pleasure. It would
Okay.
be my pleasure.
Well,
And next time we speak together, Dumont, I'm going to be talking more about my association with the Suicide Prevention Society
oh,
and how to have the talk that saves lives. And I'm going to tell you, finally, I know I opened this loop at the last show. We're going to talk about emotional cage fighting.
oh, that sounds so suicide prevention and emotional cage fighting. Okay, when I see you, we're going to be talking about this and get this ready because you definitely have to come back and talk about that.
I'm looking forward to
That
it.
is absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. I'm going to say thank you to everybody here. If you did not, well, if you're hearing on a recording, of course, I sent it to you. I was going to say if you did not get a chance to see it, listen to the recording. But we
And I'll
will
see you
also,
in the green room.
yeah. So thank you, Monique. Everyone, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I'll be back next week. And Ben Joya is going to be here again talking about how to get your book published.
Yay, I love Ben.
Yeah, I do too. So thanks, everyone. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.